Hello everybody and welcome to day 18 of SuFamiMas, the Super Famicom Christmas show where we play a Super Famicom game every day. And today we are playing Final Fight Tough, aka Final Fight 3 in the West. And is it tough? Is it a tough game? Well, not really, and especially not the way we are going to play it. I've definitely easily beaten it on normal, and the reason for that is that it's you just have a nice variety of tools at your disposal this time around. I mean, Final Fight always seemed really fair in its mechanics, but this time you have even more tools. So the story here in Final Fight 3, Final Fight Tough, is that the Mad Gear gang, the bad guys from the first game and the second game were taken down, which created a power vacuum, and gangs started fighting each other until a gang called Black Skull, or something like that, eventually rose up here. So Guy returns to Metro City to meet with his friend Hagar, who's still a mayor. And then riot breaks out, and Lucia, who's a cop here, female policewoman, breaks in and tells the mayor about the trouble. And then this guy shows up and tells him that he has a mysterious reason that he wants to join them. He knows where the gangers are holding out. And Hagar, he's like, yeah, let's take the streets back. So this time you have a nice selection of 4 characters to pick from. And unlike the first Final Fight game on Super Nintendo, which controversially only had 1 player, now you can finally play 2 players. We're gonna put a hit config off and set the partner level to strong. And the reason the partner level is that this game has auto 2 play. So not only can you play 2 players finally, the arcade original had 2-player game. The Super Nintendo home version only had 1 player, but now you can play 2 players. And they have something called auto 2 play, where the computer will take 2 player. We turn hit config off so we won't hit each other. And I'll pick Lucia for player 1, because that's a character I remember. And let's pick Guy here for player 2. And Lucia, as you can tell, is very animated. But yeah, you have a nice range of tools in this time around here. You know, grabs, kicks, all the usual fare. But if you see the blue gauge on the bottom of the screen, you also have a super meter that slowly charges up. And you are also able to do new special moves. Let's see if I can actually pull it off here with, yeah, Lucia. It's kind of an upwards kick. And then we have a super move. The super only stays active for a limited amount of time, but if I press down, down, forward, and attack at the same time, she does that. It's not a Dragon Ball motion, down, forward. It's down, then forward and attack at the same time. But it can be a little bit tricky to land here with 2 players, because the enemies obviously get very distracted and have a tendency to to run back and forth between both characters. Furthermore, you can also smash stuff in the background, which isn't just a visual treat. It does have an impact on some stuff. And I'm not sure if it does here in level 1, but in later stages we can skip some bosses entirely by choosing certain paths and simply breaking some stuff in the background. So I'm gonna try and see if breaking those terminals on the wall here, if that has any effects. You can get a guy to come up here. And I was so distracted by doing that I didn't pull off the super in time here. You know, story-wise, Final Fight 3 is really interesting. You know, they threw out one gang, Mad Gear Gang, and then a ton of other gangs started fighting and rose up. And I mean, it feels like the city probably has some big issues if everything immediately turns to gang violence. I mean, it sounds like it didn't really solve anything in the first game. Maybe that's just me. There's some underlying issue if gangs keep rising up. And then the government officials, the mayor's friends, and even the police here in this case, with Lucia, goes out and cleans up the street. At least we also have Dean here, which isn't. See if I can actually land it or something. Nope. Davey has a tricky customer, much like EDE from the first Final Fight. It's kind of got a policeman thing going with his handcuffs and his corrupt cop. But it's not EDE, it's some other guy who went for the exact same vibe, except this guy, you know, jumps around a lot more. Which, you know, obviously is annoying, because then we can really lock him down and put some good damage on him until he stands still. Apart from the special moves I've already done, you also have your usual crash attack, both buttons. Now I have too little health to actually do it, to show you what I mean, but if I lose a life in a second, you will see. Or if I take this guy down. Yeah, we took down the boss here. So now I should get full health back for the next round. So this is a part where we've beaten down the first riders, and Dean reveals that he has it out for the Black Skull gang, because they asked him to join, and when he refused, they killed his family. So that's some good old vigilante justice. That's something that you can understand. While Hacker and friends are just out there because the gangs are getting a bit uppity and fully attacking the city with riots and stuff. But I gotta admire his commitment to cleaning up the city single-handedly. Almost just with his fists. That's a kind of mayor I can get behind. But with with so many voters out here joining a big criminal organization. Well, there's definitely someone who don't agree with this politics. Or are they even voters? Were these guys all flown in from out of town? Out of town gangsters? It would seem like it would make sense if they're certainly dressed like, you know, not an organized army, but more like local hoodlums. But the boss, which we won't get to because of, you know, limited time for today's gameplay, he is like a military guy who flies in on a helicopter. And not like a rich guy in a wheelchair, like in the first final fight. Wow, footlongs. $1 footlong hot dogs. There might be gang warfare, but at least we didn't have massive inflation under Hagar's mayoral rule of Metro City. And that was the sound of an extra life. That's the special move. Oh yeah, I wanted to show the crash attack. That's of course 2 buttons. Takes some of your health if you hit with it, but you can do it all willy-nilly. Both buttons, attack and punch. Oh, and a new thing is you can also hold down the shoulder button to sort of lock in your positioning here and moonwalk, which is nice because you can like dash backwards, which might have some effect at I'm really desperately trying here to hit the super, and I didn't hit anyone. Like the original Final Fight, you have you know, your jump kick, but you also have a more technical thing where you can push down and attack to do like a knee thing, which doesn't knock enemies back, and you can use that to sort of get in a stun hit and then continue your combo from there. Here, a door got smashed open, and this is an example of where you can smash open doors and go inside in some places. And usually that, of course, nets you more enemies to fight. But you can also find, you know, good big health pickups and items like that. Oh, you can also dash and run and do like running dash attacks. So apart from the jump kick, you can dash, jump, and do this more damaging attack. We have the boss, Callman. Let's see if I can get my soup on in. So yeah, the auto 2-player function is, as you can see, a nice option for people fan of fighting games who want to play them alone but still experience like 2-player gameplay. Also, great thing for fans of slowdown, as you might also have noticed. I mean, maybe the slowdown that is here in Final Fight 3, where they knew a lot more about the Super Famicom, is the reason why they didn't have 2-player at all in the original Final Fight on Super Nintendo. Maybe they just couldn't hack it. On to round 3 here, we have another nice boss skip. I forget what, I think you have to smash all the windows if I remember correctly. So let's see if we can get a guy back here. Oh, it's the pipes on the wall you have to smash. Anyway, throwing people around. It's the way to smash stuff. The slowdown, I want to say, is really only in the when you have 2 players and all the enemies on screen. It rarely happens in single player. So once the 2-player dies here, and if you don't, I think you gotta have a controller in like the second controller port to be able to start again. But once player 2 dies and then vanishes off the screen, then the game speeds up tremendously. So if you've gotten used to the slowdown here, it can be a bit daunting. So you kind of smashed that window over there. Maybe not. Maybe we had to get closer. Yeah, round 3 clear. I'm pretty sure that there would have been a boss fight here otherwise. We hadn't smashed the windows on. Anyway, on to round 4. So yeah, speed is a big factor. It definitely is a game that is pretty snappy. And you also notice that we've got a few weapons out of these barrels here. There's a really nice variety in different weapons, but they don't show up a lot. Unlike the first game, where you obviously, first of all, you have all the knife throwing enemies, and they just leave knives left and right. Here there are no enemies who comes in with weapons and drops them, which I feel is a bit of a missed opportunity. Because I feel that's a staple of a great beat 'em up. Oh, there you saw Cody had a special command, like command throw. I think it's a command throw. You don't see the AI use it, and they don't use supers either, so... Here we have another staple of Final Fight, Andorra. Named after Andre the Giant. And he walks towards you slowly, will try to grab you. And occasionally do the dashes with his torso. So even under a new gang, Andorra is just happy to be there. Doesn't have to be the Mad Gear, Black Skull, or whatever. Any gang is fine. And obviously also he goes solo in some of Capcom's fighting games. Here's another weapon, a throwable hammer. And you can see the charging enemies this time around aren't too bad. If you catch them while they're still close, you can just hit them when you're normals and not get into any trouble. They'll just dash into your normal. like so. I'm actually trying to do a super here, but as I play, my inputs becomes worse and worse, and now the super meter timed out. So yeah, it's only up there for a limited time. But as far as Final Fight games goes, I think this is probably the best one of the three they released on Super Famicom. The original one is looks good, but is kind of pales in comparison to the arcade game. So you don't have two players, and you know, they censored poison. And all that jazz. And then you have Final Fight 2, which unfortunately just is a little bit boring. Obviously you also have Final Fight Guy after they released the original Final Fight, which only had Cody and Hagar. They made Final Fight Guy, which only has Guy and Hagar. So I don't didn't really solve anything. And Final Fight Guy was a game that I want to say they was it like a Japanese imported at. It's considered a Blockbuster exclusive in America, but I think it was because it was a Japanese Famicom cartridge. I don't know if they had an adapter for it or what they did. Oh, wait, no, Famicom. Anyway, I don't remember, but it only got an official Japanese release in. Here's another thing. I think you can go towards or you can go up. Let's try to go into the middle here, because last time I played I went up to the top deck. Now we got some new, small, annoying enemies that kind of scoot around quickly. But yeah, Final Fight 2, kind of boring game. Fun new characters, but unfortunately just control-wise, kind of more of the same. And then they had for some reason they travel all around the world and fight the Bad Gear Gang, which feels like it makes little sense. That the same guys are just in Paris and Germany and all over the place. But yeah, Final Fight 3, we're back to Metro City. And with way many more moves. And great characters. Here we have the boss, Drake. Back when he was a sailor. And he's much like the level 1 boss. He likes to look like this and jump around. But this time he has an anchor he's trying to pick up and mess around with. The classic knock you down and jump on you. Annoying move. Now he starts doing that, which will knock you down if you stand on the ground while he does it. See there, lots of big jumpy guys. see if I can actually pull off my super today. Apparently not. But yeah, a good harbor / dock stage is a great stage for any kind of beat 'em up, to add some variety to it. But it does have some story context. But let's get through this bonus stage first, which I can never seem to get correct. But you're supposed to be able to stop this bulldozer, and I'm not sure how. Maybe you have to do your special move. Nope, didn't do it. I can do my dash jump, but I should have started that way earlier if I wanted to win. And I should have had Guy help me as well, thank you, which he doesn't do. And then Dean shows up at the last second here to help us not get thrown into the water. But yeah, here's the story reason why the harbor stage was essential, because the Black Skull were smuggling weapons. Which thankfully they decide for some reason or other never to use that on us. So no enemies with machine guns, not even the boss. Unlike, you know, Double Dragon, final boss. It's the big boss because he has, well, Double Dragon 2. The final boss is the big boss because he's the one who has a machine gun. And he has another new weapon, the nunchuck. Which, again, is a weapon you'll only see like once or twice in a full playthrough. But a great range, and a great way to accidentally knock down your buddy if you're playing with hit confirm on. Which we aren't, thankfully. There we saw Guy's special attack, where he does like a small fireball at the end of his combo. Another thing that you can do in Streets of Rage, for instance, and other beat 'em up games is that when enemies grab you, you can usually do like a crash attack to get out of it, lose some health, but take down everyone. But you can't really, doesn't really seem to be something you are able to do in Final Fight 3 here. I forget if the characters here, they probably have some since they had in the first one as well, but some of the characters are probably better with some weapons than others. I bet that guy, he's the most Asian ninja guy here, so it probably makes sense if he's the one who's good at using nunchucks, while the kind of telescope staff that I found earlier is probably good for Lucia since she's a cop, and maybe Dina Hacker uses the pipe. Seems like a hacker thing, thinking about Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where you see just how much he uses a steel pipe in that one. And here we have a vaguely the Warriors inspired enemy. Baseball guy, you always think of the Baseball Furies when you see someone using baseball. And a hockey mask here. You always think of the Baseball Furies when you think of that look in a beat 'em up. But I mean, the Warriors, what an iconic movie it was. Even though, you know, I don't think it had a lot to do with like real gangs when they start getting all cartoony into the outfits. And for some reason we have some Nazi guys throwing grenades around. I only call them the Nazi guys because of the helmet. I don't actually know their political beliefs. But whatever they're into, it can't be any good when you just show up and start chucking grenades around for no reason. Very powerful hit, but very slow wind-up from those baseball guys. And now we lost our player 2. He ran out of lives. Which brings the challenge up a little bit. Now that everyone is gunning for us and not just not running back and forth between both characters to get a hit in. And it shoots. Obviously it makes it easier for us to actually land super attacks because the enemies are lining up all day. But I can't really get down the timing on the input command for some reason now here. So that's more of a skill issue. And a green pants Andorra the Giant was taken down. There's another area where we can skip the boss by going in here through this door. And then in a little bit we have to smash some computers. And once you're down on your own here, you really want to start using knockdown attacks, like in other good beat 'em up here, to get some crowd control. So lots of jump kicks to get enemies out of the way, so you can concentrate on other enemies. But yeah, tip, go through the second door here, then you enter this room, which has some computers here in the background, the grey ones here. And if you smash all those, you should skip the boss, the stage 5 boss here entirely. We can get someone up here to throw at that computer. Walk into it, please. No. He was smart enough to stay out of the way. As I said, normally you can like kick those guys out of the way, but if they get a bit of range on it and charge in, then they are too fast, coming at you too quickly to be able to stop with your normals. Like so. So yeah, as you can see, round 5 clear with no boss inside. Anyway, that was a quick look at Final Fight Tough, aka Final Fight 3. And as you can see, I got plenty of life to spare and also plenty of continues. Actually, let's take a look at the continue screen here before we head out, because the first game is of course iconic for its well known for its continue screen, where you see one of your player character locked up. Just spend all the health here. Where you see the player character tied up and then has a big stick of dynamite sitting in front of them that they're trying to blow out as the timer goes down. But they found a new way to make it brutal in this game. Final Fight 2 has your character tied up in something that looks like a cellar or the sewers, which are rapidly flooding. So then there's water coming up, and you have 10 seconds to press start to play again here. But we're almost down to the last life here, so you can see what it looks like in this game. Because it's the most brutal one yet. An equally slow death, but not as pleasant as the drowning one of Final Fight 2. And it's squishing. So yeah, as Lucia goes down a few sizes here in clothing size, that's a game over. And I want to say thank you for watching today, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of SuFamiMas. Bye.